Our reading story today is Pass It Down by Elizabeth Reed and illustrated by John Nez. Now, the phrase pass it down means to share an important item or skill with a younger person. If you remember way back at the beginning of the year, we read the story, The Kissing Hand, and Mother Raccoon shared her special secret about how she would kiss her hand and press it to her son's cheek. So that when he was away, she would still be with him. That's something that they can pass down. Now, people can pass down real things like a watch or a ring, or they can pass down how to do something, like you can make a special food. Like in my family, we passed down the recipe for how to make the candy Buckeyes. And my dad passed down a lot of silly songs that he used to sing, and I'll sing them now to my kids and grandkids. So the genre of our story is realistic fiction. The people or animals in the story will seem real in realistic fiction. The places in the story are real or seem real. And the story is about things that didn't really happen, but they could happen in real life. There's nothing so crazy and outlandish that happens that couldn't really happen in real life. The essential question that I want you to think about as we read is what traditions does your family share? We're going to be using the comprehension strategy, predicting and confirming predictions, and we're going to do some summarizing as well. Now, remember, when you predict and confirm predictions, it helps you understand what you're reading better by anticipating what's going to happen next. And your predictions are going to be based on your experiences or other stories that you've read, as well as the information in the story. So it's not just a wild guess. You use what you know and what's in the story to make your predictions. And then you interact with the story to see if your prediction is correct or not. Also, we're going to do some summarizing, and summarizing parts of the story helps the reader keep track of what they're reading and focus on those key details. All right. And if there's any gaps in your understanding, good readers go back and reread, and so that they can have a good summary of the story. So let's go ahead and read. This is David and his abuelo, his grandfather. Abuelo is how you say grandfather in Spanish. Abuelo was born in Mexico. He loves to create things for his family. He makes piñatas. When Abuelo was young, his grandmother taught him how to make piñatas. Now Abuelo will show other children how to make piñatas. David will help. All right, so let's stop and summarize what we've read so far. We know that David's abuelo was born in Mexico and he likes to create piñatas. We also learned that he likes to teach other people that he was taught how to make piñatas, and now he will teach other children how to make piñatas. A piñata is a party decoration and game. It is made out of paper and glue and filled with toys. Abuelo can make the piñata into any shape he wants. Today, he will make a donkey. Okay, so there's a lot of information about a piñata. Let's stop and summarize. So it's a decoration at a party, and it's part of a game. It's made out of paper, and it's filled with toys. The shape of a piñata can be anything, right? So we learned a lot of things about piñatas. Piñatas are made with paper mache. That is old reused paper soaked in glue. The paper mache is placed on balloons to dry. David helps by blowing up the balloons. Abuelo arranges the balloons in the shape of a donkey and tapes them in place. Next, Abuelo tears newspaper into strips. David dips the strips in glue. He places them over the legs of the donkey. David and Abuelo cover the rest of the body and the donkey's face. All right, another good place for summarizing, because there were lots of steps in learning how to make a piñata, right? David blows up the balloons. Abuelo tapes them into the shape of a donkey. Abuelo tears the paper into long strips and dips each one in glue. And then they cover the whole balloons that's in the shape of a donkey with that paper. So there are a lot of steps. So that's definitely a good place to stop and summarize what we've read. When the glue dries, the shape is stiff. Abuelo cuts the piñata and David fills it with toys. Abuelo seals the opening to hold in the toys. Then it is time to decorate the piñata. Abuelo uses paint and strips of folded tissue paper. He uses many vibrant colors. David glues on the tissue paper while Abuelo adds a face to the donkey. All right, now maybe we should stop and predict a little bit here. Now that Abuelo and David are finished making the piñata, this is a good place to make a prediction. I predict that the piñata will be used to decorate for a birthday party. Do you think that's what will happen next? Finally, it's time for a party. David's family hangs the piñata from a tree. Now I predicted that the piñata would be used to decorate a birthday party, and it's time for a party, and the piñata is hanging from a tree. So I think that my prediction's been confirmed, at least partially, because I'm not sure if it's a birthday party yet, but it is a party. Abuelo gets a stick. The children hit the piñata. The piñata cracks. It cracks again. The cracks get bigger and bigger. Here's another good place to predict. On page 15, we read that the children hit the piñata with a stick and it cracks. And the crack gets bigger and bigger. So what do you think will happen next? I think I would predict that the toys will start to fall out of the piñata. At last, the piñata breaks. All of the toys fall onto the ground. The children rush for the toys and put them in their pockets. Well, I guess I can confirm that prediction. I thought that piñata was about to break. The children thank Abuelo for showing them how to make a piñata. When they get older, they can teach their children too. Piñatas are this family's traditions. All right, let's go back and take a look at vocabulary from the story. The first word is at the very beginning, and this is the word other. Make sure that my volume is up all the way for you so that you can hear it really well.
Other. Different from the ones already mentioned. I have two good friends. He is one, here is the other. Other.
All right, other means different from the one already mentioned. Now, when Abuelo was young, his grandmother taught him how to make piñatas, and now he will show other children that are different from him, how to make piñatas. Other. All right, the next word is decoration. A piñata is a party decoration.
Decoration. Something hung up or set up for a party.
All right, decoration is something set up or hung up for a party. And this piñata is a decoration. The next word is filled. And it says it's made out of paper and glue and filled with toys.
Filled. A form of the word fill. To take up all of the space inside.
All right, to take up the space inside, to take up all the space inside. So all of the space inside of our piñata is filled with toys, filled with toys. And your last vocabulary word, let's see here. There it is. It's the word seals. Abuelo seals the opening. Let's see what that means.
Seals. A form of the word seal. To close tightly or completely. The tape seals the box shut.
All right, seals means to close tightly or completely. So when Abuelo seals the opening of the piñata, he closes it up tightly so that it's ready to go for the party. All right, I will be sure to include the discussion starters so that you can talk about this story with your big person.